Good afternoon. Welcome to the Midday Mull for Friday, the 9th of January. Reading through Acts with McShane, we read chapter 9 today. Persecution had broken out against the early church. They had been scattered, and new churches were being planted as the disciples moved out of Jerusalem. Chapter 9 begins, meanwhile, Saul was still breathing out murderous threats against the Lord's disciples. He went to the high priest and asked him for letters to the synagogues in Damascus, so that if he found any there who belonged to the way, whether men or women, he might take them as prisoners to Jerusalem. So Paul was quite set on eliminating the church. Here he comes, heading to Damascus with letters to arrest and detain anyone who belongs to the Christian church. It's an interesting position because I think my immediate reaction, if we heard of someone like that, would be to pray that they'd be disabled, to pray that they'd be taken out the picture. Lord, remove them from the picture because they're such a threat. What hope do we have while that person still breathes? And yet God appears to this very person, and he sends Ananias to him, and he says, "But the Lord said to Ananias," verse 15, "Go, this man is my chosen instrument to proclaim my name to the Gentiles and to their kings and to the people of Israel." This man is my chosen instrument. This person who has nothing going for them, this person who is the opposite of what one would look for in a good church planter, this person who is totally anti the faith, not the kind of person any of us would ever have chosen to be involved in any kind of church work. And yet God says, that's my man. And he appears to him and changes him, and everything's different. And we know how the story continues after that. And for me, that's a great encouragement, because there's so many people that we write off. And sometimes the devil comes and wants us to write ourselves off as well. Yes, God can use people. God wants people, but not you. I mean, look at what you've done. Look at the kind of person you are. Look at all the failings you have. God's not wanting to use you, so just don't get too excited about listening to God or waiting on God or anything. God will use other more holy people. But God takes somebody like Saul, the antithesis of what we would see as a holy, godly Christian person, and changes him. So God can change anyone. And so we can't write off anyone else. And we must be careful of letting the devil convince us to write ourselves off. God hasn't written anyone off. And he can use us, no matter what our shortcomings are. And for me, because of our many great shortcomings, this is an encouragement, a word of hope, and a great blessing. Walk with God. Know his presence, because he can use any one of us. Be blessed.